Yo, I'm gonna be reviewing a video called Why Does Gen Z Look So Old?
If you look at these three women, how old do you think they are?
The one on the left looks 42. The one in the middle looks just strange. Mid-30s, but at the same time also kind of older. The one on the right looks early mid-30s, maybe?
Chances are you're thinking, okay, well, they're obviously in their mid-30s, but no, they're in their 20s.
Is it just strange photos? I've heard about some photos where they make them look older on purpose. The one on the right I could somewhat understand, but the other two? No.
And these photos are taken from a cast of a dating show in the UK called Love Island, where allegedly attractive people, usually in their 20s, go out and date and get in drama and stuff. And many people online were starting to discuss, why does Gen Z look so old? Now, I think the
number one reason must be the diets. People today eat the most unnatural diets ever in history. Yeah.
Elephant in the room in this example is that they've done a lot of cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, they do look like they have done something already in their 20s, but if that's the case, it was most likely because they already degenerated so quickly because of the diets.
A lot of Botox and filler is
Yeah, there's no way that somebody, in general obviously, but especially in her 20s, should even think about getting Botox, should be getting wrinkles, which was most likely the case. Then you're just eating an absolutely terrible diet. It just must be the number one reason.
Pretty obvious, right? And I think that's got something to do with it. Gen Z definitely is more likely to get cosmetic surgery compared to previous generations.
I love how you don't have any work done like other girls. And then it's pointing out all of that. Her face does look fake, plastic sort of. Even if you don't know what exactly it is, the lips obviously, you can clearly see, then still, you just notice something right away, something's off.
At a younger age. And I think this causes an effect where you kind of assume someone that has a lot of Botox or lip filler to be in their 30s, trying to look young.
Oh my god, yeah. If they are in their 20s, that's insane.
You know, people have like a file in their brain for what this type of woman is, and it's usually a woman that is, you know, late 30s trying to look like she's in her 20s. And the actual visual difference between someone with lots of lip filler and Botox in their 30s and 20s is pretty much the same look.
Respectfully, you look like you're pushing 45. Stop getting filler or Botox.
Yeah, she looks like she's in her early 40s, pretty much.
Whatever you have, it looks so bad. 45? I get like, okay, maybe like late 20s, 30s. 22, yeah, shocker.
So a lot of
22. Yeah, that's just insane. Even 30s would be kind of insane if she was in her early 30s. Even then she would look very old. Yeah, maybe late 30s you could somehow explain. It's for sure the diet, because you're not eating any collagen at all nowadays, let alone raw collagen. You're not getting any of the fat-soluble vitamins. You're generally not eating any animal fat, which is obviously the main reason you're not getting any of those nutrients. And really not even any raw animal proteins. People just eat carbohydrate-based, grain-based diets with vegetables. Obviously it ages you, but it should also be clearly understood that when you have wrinkles and you want to get Botox, in your 20s especially, it's in a way natural to do that, in super huge quotes. What I mean by that is that you don't want to look like that in your 20s. It's natural not wanting to look like that, which is why you try to find a solution for your bad diet, indirectly, basically. You don't get it, of course, that it's the diet that's causing it, but you don't want to look like that. It's the same for people who use drugs, or men who have very little muscle, who use testosterone. They want to look and feel differently because they are supposed to actually naturally look and feel differently. Men are not supposed to have absolutely no muscle the way it is with some of these so-called men nowadays. I'm not talking about working out whatsoever. Testosterone itself is going to give you more muscle than a woman has, obviously hormonally, naturally. That's how it's supposed to be. And you're also supposed to always feel pretty much euphoric, high, happy every day. That's really the normal state of a human being if you eat naturally. And if you don't, then it's understandable why some people end up using drugs. Whether they are conscious of why they are doing it, they just really want to feel this high. They want to feel really good, which naturally would be the case. I'm just saying that them having these wrinkles or the lips that they don't want, even the color of the lips, a lot of it is not genetic. Really, most of it. Nose jobs, that I could understand, it would be a genetic thing. Fixing your ears, hair, all of that, but all of these injections, fillers that they are doing, yeah, it's all nutritional, hormonal. It's just because of what you eat.
Girls that get a lot of work done in their 20s, you put them in the box of women in their 30s trying to look younger. But there's a lot more to this. If you look at a lot of Gen Z, they seem to be developing wrinkles and...
Face off, he's 25. Yeah, but again, 100% a diet. You really gotta understand that humans have never eaten such absolutely horrible diets before, because the food didn't even exist back in the day, which is not even food anyway. Even 100 years ago, people ate plenty of raw meat. People generally ate organs. There were essentially no meals without organs, except if there was famine, you were starving, there was scarcity of food. But if you had animals, you would be eating organs all the time. This is something that people don't eat whatsoever. It's absolutely no wonder that you develop wrinkles so early in life.
Signs of aging in their skin more early than others, both men and women. And in this cast of Love Island, lip filler and all that aside, there's definitely some signs of aging going on.
Yeah, but what you also gotta remember is that even women nowadays go to the gym, and they probably do. They seem like the kind of women who would. And the gym also ages you immensely, because when you go to the gym, you produce a lot of cortisol, and cortisol breaks down collagen, which is exactly the kind of faces that you're seeing there. And guys anyway nowadays are almost kind of mentally forced to go to the gym. It's abnormal not to do it at this point. And again, that completely ages your skin, creates wrinkles.
There's wrinkles on the face, in the under eye area, nasolabial.
Yeah. No, it's typical. It's a grain-based diet with vegetables, very little meat, no collagen, especially raw collagen in the diet, which is just normal in nature, and a lot of working out, lifting weights, running. Yeah, this is exactly what you should expect if you eat that way and have so much stress in your life. Probably also coffee, tea, a bunch of caffeine, theobromine, maybe stressful jobs, studying a lot. Yeah, totally.
Folds, crow's feet. This isn't something you can hand wave away by saying, oh, they just look more mature because they present themselves more mature. This is the actual structure of the face being older. A lot of people do that in discussions of why people look older or younger. They kind of attribute it just to, the hair and the clothes and so on. Isolate just the face and you can see definite signs of aging. I've noticed this with a lot of people in Gen Z, and even Gen Z themselves are noticing, why are we aging so quick compared to millennials? And I believe this has to do with stress. Now, stress...
Technically true. Yeah, it has a lot to do with stress. Even these bad diets are stressful for the body.
This has a very significant impact on making your skin age faster and get damaged. Stress creates cortisol, and cortisol reduces your skin collagen.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Thing that actually makes your skin young. Being exposed to more cortisol has a whole bunch of negative health effects. It literally makes your entire body age. It's not just the skin. And a lot of studies have shown that Gen Z have much higher rates of stress and other symptoms of poor mental health. And I know boomers are going to
poor mental health is poor gut health, which is again because of your diet.
Come in and like furiously type at their keyboards, oh, it's just being told that they're stressed, that they're just creating problems out of nothing. But really, I don't think that is the case. I think Gen Z are genuinely more stressed than millennials. The general amount of just ambient stress in society, I think, has really escalated since around 2010. Think about what it's like going to school today. You're being exposed to so many things that are just going to stress you the fuck out. Men are trying to exploit women. Women are trying to exploit men. The world is going to end due to environmental reasons. Everyone's racist. Everyone's misogynist. You can't trust women because they're going to divorce you and take your money. Like, there's so much like societal strife that is just around today.
Yeah, but that's not really a big deal. He's leaving out the most important part, which is exercise.
That I just don't think existed. And I haven't even gotten into like the financial stuff, which is that the cost of a home is just continuing to get higher and higher, even when adjusting for inflation. So like costs of living are going up, and people know that.
He's right about stress, but he's giving the dumbest reasons right now. None of that is really gonna stress you, just a little bit here and there.
It's like people kind of see the writing on the wall. It's not a good sign. And people wonder why Gen Z is aging faster. Of course they're aging faster, like they're being stressed out of their mind. And
Yeah, because people never used to exercise. Women especially, obviously, anyway. Men started a few decades ago, very few, and then they really started around 20 years ago. And women really just started in the last decade, really in the last few years.
I have a lot of sympathy for Gen Z, and I'm a millennial. I'm 31 myself. And whenever I meet someone in Gen Z, they always say, wow, you look so young. I think I've had a very stress-free life compared to most people. I've worked for myself my entire life, kind of get up when I want to, always get my 8 hours of sleep. The last time I cried, I think was like well over 10 years ago. So I think I'm a lot less stressed compared to the average person. And really, I haven't even seen any sign of aging whatsoever. Like, I did a test for my health markers when I went to like some fancy gym, and according to my biomarkers, I'm biologically 20. So that's a good sign, right? Like, that kind of shows that if you have a nice, serene and chilled out environment for most of your life, things will go quite a...
I wonder how you would measure that. It's basically impossible.
But what I can tell you, what is a fact, is that recruiters talk. And recruiters, like the majority of Canada, don't agree with you. Do you know what that means? Do you have any guesses? Any guesses what that means? What that means is that if you need a job, you might not get one. If you want to keep a job, you might not get to do that.
You see, 2008 was when the financial crisis happened, and Occupy Wall Street was a big deal, where pretty much everyone across the board were rightfully furious at banks losing money and getting bailed out by their money that was taxed from them. Oh, and the inflation and all the other stuff that they were behind. So I think Occupy Wall Street was kind of like a big wake-up call for these guys. I think that spooked banks a lot, and they decided, we need to distract people, we need to get them fighting each other. And just coincidentally, you started to see like the typical identity politics keywords appear in articles like quadruple times the amount. Like terms like racism, misogyny, blah, 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 all just quadrupled in media articles after that point. They figured out, oh shit, people are getting a bit too close to identifying us as enemies. Let's get these guys fighting amongst each other. So the media would...
There's for sure a lot of truth to this, that people want us to fight against each other. Right wing, left wing, what he mentioned also. There's for sure a plan to divide us, which is already, of course, going on now.
They own, they got to produce all of this stuff to stress people out and make people fight against each other. There's so many grifters, there's so many rage baiters, there's so much like propaganda and like bullshit designed to make you distrusting of the man next to you, and it's just like, yeah, of course Gen Z are aging quicker than they're growing up in their formative years in this environment.
Where millennials look way younger for their age, while Gen Z looks way older for their age. If you don't believe me, I'm Gen Z. Get closer. I am Gen Z and nobody ever believes me. When my mom and I walk out in public, people think that my mom is my younger sister.
I haven't even touched like the pandemic, the rumors of World War III. Like, Jesus, like, of course Gen Z are aging quicker. All the cortisol they're being exposed to.
Yeah, no, man. I get what he's saying. Yeah, sure, there's some stress from this when you hear about the potential World War III, but then it just goes away. You live your life. It's not as if it stresses you to the point where you think, oh, World War III, and you create wrinkles because you think about it nonstop every day. That's nonsense. Nobody does that. This is very rare stress here and there, which really does almost nothing, especially to your skin. If you break down your collagen, but you also eat a lot of raw animal foods, Pretty much no problem. I worked out for over 10 years, but even though for sure I did damage, I'm doing pretty okay. Just because for some of the years when I was working out, I was almost only eating organs. I ate some muscle meat here and there, but it was at least 95% organs, and butter also, whatever kind of fat, or bone marrow actually more so, and brain. But I was just eating liver, testicles, spleen. Yeah. And of course, because I ate that, yeah, I didn't suffer from much damage because of the stress of lifting the metal up and down. But almost nobody eats that way. They eat seeds, vegetables, protein shakes, everything isolated, supplements. Of course there's nothing in there. Of course it doesn't help you to recover after all the stress when you work out.
It's just going to annihilate the collagen in their skin. And that's kind of what you're saying.
I was humbled so quick tonight.
It's just so dumb. Such a dumb conclusion. The overall point is right. Just the conclusion as to where the stress comes from is stupid.
I was on live with my boyfriend and someone was like, how old's your girlfriend? And John jokingly responds 47. And the girl comments, oh, I thought she was early 30s. I am 23.
It's like if you have like a bird in a cage and you keep rattling the cage and stressing the fuck out of the bird. Yeah, of course the bird isn't going to do as well as other birds. It's going to be a bit more sickly, not as robust. And, you know, it's going to have more problems, more health problems. I feel bad for Gen Z. Like, I do have a lot of sympathy for them, despite it not being my...
Yeah, they are very brainwashed, very ignorant, more than any other humans before. They have no idea what they're supposed to eat. They don't understand that you need vitamin A, not only cholesterol, to create estrogen, testosterone. They're consuming all of these endocrine disruptors all the time also. They just don't have any idea about the human body, biology. They eat absolute garbage day in and day out. They stress themselves non-stop. Of course, they basically have to end up looking like they are in their 30s, if not even 40s, while they are still in their 20s. And it should also be clearly understood that they are actually in their 30s already, because the way you biologically look like is your actual age. You can age quicker. If somebody is, let's say two people are 25 and one of them lives the way Gen Z does, then biologically they will be, let's say, 35. And if the other one eats raw meat, they don't exercise, then they will look the way they are supposed to look. They will be at their natural biological age. Of course you can age much quicker. It would be stupid and ignorant to assume that you can just stay 25 but live completely unnaturally. No, these people are already absolutely biologically in their 30s, and they will die much quicker because they are already older. Yeah, that should be clearly understood. You don't simply age by looking older. You actually age, which means that you will die quicker.
Generation, I see what they're exposed to, and I just think they have it quite rough, which I know isn't like a popular sentiment. You know, everyone wants to talk shit about Gen Z, right? Now, I can't change any of this. I'm just some guy. But what I do hope I communicate in this video is the importance of reducing stress in your life. You can't change all like the crazy neurosis in the world. But
yeah, you want to reduce the stress, but then you show clips of exercising, which is more stressful than anything you talked about.
What you can do is minimize the stuff that is stressing you out. Maybe it's not a good idea to consume rage bait content before going to bed.
Hey, I saw all of these videos being recommended to me about Mr. Beast. People are insanely jealous of him. To be fair, Mr. Beast is like, what, in his mid-20s or something? Maybe I'm wrong. He also looks very old. I always thought that he's in his 30s at least, before I found out that he's younger. Even if he's in his late 20s, he still looks older. It's also the mustache, but still, even without all of that, he would just look older. He probably actually does have a lot of stress because of the videos and everything all the time. But yeah, people really try to bring down people who are up. They were jealous of him. Yeah, it's messed up for him.
That might disrupt your sleep, increase your cortisol throughout the day, and so on.
Overall, his point is correct. It really is the stress, which is mostly caused by the working out and also because they are not able to recover from the workouts. As I said, if you have a lot of stress in your life, you need to be consuming a lot of raw animal foods. That's why people in nature can also handle stress. Not that there is as much stress as there is today in this garbage society. The stress that we have today, not that we even need to have it, but even the stress that's forced upon us, such as working, studying, is just way over the top compared to the way people live naturally. Yeah, they have to hunt, at least the men, but it's fun. They do it in groups. They can throw. It's really like playing. It's a fun activity. It's not a stressful activity. Sometimes maybe, yeah, if you need to run a little bit, whatever, sprint, but still, in the end, even that will at least end up being an accomplishment. You will feel like you succeeded, whereas nowadays you work, it's slavery, and you don't succeed. You get nothing out of it except for money which doesn't exist, some symbols on a paper or some numbers in your bank account. Or you play sports, you imitate hunting, again, you get nothing. You play video games, which is a lot better, at least it's not stressful, not really at least. And again, you get nothing out of it. You're again imitating hunting. 95% of video games imitate hunting simply. That's why teenagers are obsessed with it, seeing as that's the age they would be learning how to hunt. And so on. My point is simply that the stress that we have today is just way over the top compared to humans in nature who, yeah, hunt now and then, but really they just lay around all day, play with their children, and just chill. Life is just supposed to be chill and happy and fun. And nowadays it's just stress, stress, stress. That explains it. Thanks for watching.